Welcome to Interview Confidence Mastery. In this bonus module, I will teach you ways so you can get over your fear of interviews. In my line of work in management consulting, I frequently present to very senior professionals, right? I frequently present to like CEOs of Fortune 500 companies and sometimes even cabinet ministers. So in situations like that, I can't afford to be nervous. Right? But I do get nervous until I condition myself not to be, and I will teach you all about how to achieve that in this module. Let's start with first the groundwork. Who is a good communicator? To me, he or she is someone who looks like he means what he's talking about and sounds like what he means he's talking about. It's not about saying, it has nothing to do with not saying, not at all. You can say any of those, that's okay. A good speaker, a confident speaker makes you feel that he's talking to you and engaging with you. Let me give you an example here. See the difference yourself. So I'm one of the best presenters in the world, and I presented to cabinet ministers and CEOs. Now let me really mean it, so you see the difference. It's the same sentence. I am one of the best presenters in the world. I presented to cabinet ministers and even Fortune 500 CEOs. See the difference? In the second one, I was genuine, right? Maybe I still said, but it didn't bother you at all because I meant what I said. I felt it, right? So you have three tools to achieve this. You have words, you have gestures, and you have your voice. All of these three have to come together to convey your message effectively. But one of them is responsible for 55% of the impact of your communication, and it's the visuals, your body language, and your facial expressions. Words make up only 7% of the impact, just 7%. It doesn't mean they're not important. All of these three have to come together to properly impress the interviewer, right? So what is happening? Why all of a sudden you become so nervous in the interview? You were just chatting with the receptionist a minute ago, right? It was all fine. You enter the room and your brain shuts down. You're no longer yourself. You're very nervous. What just happened? Let me tell you what happened. Rushing thoughts is what happened. This is what happens when what you are saying and what you're thinking doesn't match. You're thinking you have to pass this interview because this is your only shot. If you lose this opportunity, your family will starve. Your parents will be ashamed of you. You want to make your partner happy, right? A million things come rushing down here. And then the other part of your brain, the responsible part, the adult part, is trying to cope up with the conversation. And this is exactly the time when the nervousness kicks in. Bam! Right? Then your heart starts beating. You start talking very quickly. You can no longer engage, and it's downhill from that on, right? It happens to all of us. But don't worry, I will share with you great tips to get out of that situation. Just hang in there. I just need to walk through the process here first. So we covered the first reason why you get nervous, and that was the rushing thoughts, right? Meaning the mismatch between what you're saying and what you're thinking. Now, there are two other reasons why you get nervous. The second one is having too much to lose. So what does this mean, having too much to lose? If that job opportunity and the interview is the only opportunity you have, then you will feel very nervous because your mind is tricking you into thinking that this is it. That's it, baby. It's all or nothing. If you pass this interview, then you will have a wonderful life. You'll be rich. Your family will be rich. They will be proud of you. But if you dare failing this interview, then the hell with you. Then your subconscious, the subconscious mind start giving you all these images of a horrible life. You suck. Your life doesn't matter. You'll go back to being miserable. That's what you deserve. See, it's a constant battle between your optimistic and pessimistic side, right? And usually, 90% of the time, the pessimist side of your brain wins because we're wired that way. Your brain doesn't want you to flourish in your career. It wants you to survive. I will repeat this. Your brain doesn't want a successful career for you. It just wants you to live. And in situations like this, your brain sees that as a threat and shows you all the bad images to prevent you from making that mistake. And your brain thinks that attending that interview is a threat, right? It doesn't know that if you pass, you'll get a better job and then you'll have a better life, and it can't think that way, right? It acts with its instincts at that time. You're using the same brain that made you survive for 300,000 years. Just because we have internet now doesn't mean that we are super creatures, right? Your brain still acts the same way. To it, facing a lion in the jungle is same as facing an interviewer. So it responds the same way. Alerts you, pumps in the adrenaline, gets you super alert, right? Makes you want to run. So when you see a lion in the jungle, you have two options, right? You either fight or flight, right? So in situations like that, your first consideration is always flight. Run for your life, right? So you are going through this battle in your mind. Should I run? Should I stay? I can get the job if I stay. But then it says, no, you have to run. Why do you have your heart beating so fast? Run. The interviewer says, so tell me about yourself. And then you're like, my name is Dennis Sosal and I'm a management consultant and I don't know what to do, right? This is exactly what is happening. So, how to avoid this then? Again, I'm going to later on teach you some techniques that you can significantly calm yourself in those situations, but the best cure for this is not being in that situation in the first place. What do I mean by this? Of course, you have to attend the interview, right? Well, remember the title for this root cause? It's having too much to lose. So don't put yourself in that situation. When you're applying to jobs following my strategy, which you learn in this course, put immense amount of effort to generate as many opportunities as you can in as little time as possible. So when you're going for an interview with employer A, you know at the back of your mind that it's not a survival situation because you also have employer B whom responded to you and looking to interview you as well. In simple terms, try to have a backup all the time. If you have an alternative, then you will not be in that situation ever, right? Always have that alternative. Very well, let's now look at the third root cause, the third reason why we get very nervous in the interviews. And this is what I call endless loop. Essentially, this is a trap that you yourself are setting up, right? For example, you feel a little uneasy, going to the interview. Very naturally, you're saying, oh, I'm a little anxious. I really need this opportunity. And the sentence becomes, I think I'm nervous. And then it becomes, God, I'm so nervous. God, I don't know what to do. If I fail this and I lose everything. See my point? You started the day thinking you're feeling a little anxious, a little uneasy. And ended up saying you are so nervous that your life will be ruined. Why do I call this endless loop? Because you are telling your brain to be nervous. You're convincing yourself that the best action to take at this moment is to be nervous about it. So what happens? Your subconscious brain is instructing your conscious brain, or the subconscious mind, instructing your conscious mind to be nervous. You gave the order. Your conscious gets that instruction and it says, okay, I'll get to work and make you nervous. Let me start by giving you some adrenaline, pumping your heart a little. See, you just created this entire situation yourself. It was all fine in the morning. Your words, your conditioning created this whole mess. You were fine 10 minutes ago. You said, I think I'm nervous. I am nervous. I am so nervous. Don't do it. Don't use these words. Those words are orders. You're giving an order to be nervous. The words you need to use are, or the sentences you need to use are, I am very happy for this opportunity. I feel great, right? It's an amazing window of opportunity. I feel privileged to be here. Not many people have this opportunity to be here. There are millions and millions of people out there, right? Without a job, without an interview. I made it all the way to here. I am this close. But even if I don't, that's okay. I'm still better than millions of those people who couldn't get this interview, but I got it. So I won. I already won. These are the kind of things you want to say, right? And then if you say these words, then your subconscious mind gets to work and says, okay, no problem. Then instead of giving you adrenaline, I think I'll give you endorphin and maybe even a little bit of serotonin, huh? And you're like, okay, that sounds pretty cool, right? I'll gladly have a shot of endorphin. Then you start feeling good and, then you start realizing what a great opportunity to be here. As a result, that downward spiral that made you more nervous, becomes an upward spiral. You feel privileged to be there. So you're happy. Because you're happy, you're in a good mood and you communicate better and more effectively. When you communicate more effectively, then your confidence grows. When your confidence grows, then you perform even better, even more effectively. So you just get better and better and better. Then you leave that interview like a rock star. Okay, so now we have talked about the reasons why you feel nervous and how to prevent them from happening, right? So we covered how not to be in that situation in the first place. But it so happens that this isn't something you can avoid all the time. And maybe you really don't have that backup interview, right? For whatever reason, you couldn't avoid it. So then what to do? All right, now let me share with you 3 effective ways to get rid of your nervousness very quickly. And if you can pull it off, you will feel much better, no longer nervous, and even start to feel confident. You will have to implement all of these 3 techniques at the same time. They complement one another, right? The combination of all these 3 will give you the results. Now, technique number 1. Breathe. In moments of nervousness, you stop connecting with yourself. Your body's natural rhythm gets messed up. Then what you do is you hold your breath without even knowing about it. Holding your breath makes you feel more tense. And then your body goes into alert mode because it senses danger. As a result, it says, okay, adrenaline on the way, it's coming. Then you get even more nervous. See how everything is connected? How something so little as changing the rhythm of your breathing can create a snowball effect, and things just get worse and worse and worse. Everything is connected. And in addition, there are major biological reasons, disadvantages by not breathing sufficiently, right? You deregularize, that's one word that I can't pronounce, the supply of oxygen to your brain. The brain is one organ that needs to work at its best. It doesn't work as smart as it can. And then, again, a downward spiral. Because it can't work so well, it panics. It makes you panic. Then the flight response kicks in again. Oh dear, but this time it kicks in even stronger. It releases cortisol and then norepinephrine, and then we're back there again, right? Result, increased heart rate, higher blood pressure, you sweat and you're deprived of oxygen, you can't analyze, and then the fight or flight comes back in again. Your brain tells you, flight, go. Again, that's how we survived for 300,000 years. So you need to breathe. Your breathing helps soothe the nervous system. It calms down. It calms you down. And then it starts functioning again. Let's move on to technique 2. Slow it down. Yes, this technique is all about slowing it down. When you're nervous, you lose the grasp of words coming out of your mouth. You are in a constant battle to make sense out of the words you use and somehow try to arrive at a meaningful, coherent statement, right? And there are a couple of things you can do to achieve this the moment you realize you're speaking too fast, right? So the first start is, when you're in that position, slightly stretch the vowels in your words. This allows you to put more gaps in each word. And as a result, it helps you deliver one thought at a time. But remember, it's temporary, right? Because the second stage of slowing down is pauses, and that's the good one, right? So eventually that's where you want to get to. So you start with slightly stretching the vowels in your words, then you move on to giving proper pauses in between sentences. So this gives your brain an opportunity to cope up with the situation. And then it's going to be relaxed and thinking, why did I panic a while ago, right? Then it starts reducing the anxiety hormones and get back to normal, right? When you speak so fast, your brain is always playing catch up. And as a result, you are incoherent, right? Like this. Sometimes I don't know what I'm saying, but it's important to say that I'm a consultant and I'm actually a management consultant and I'm here to do a great job for you. And if you hire me, I have great experience and we're going to work great. Oh, what was that? Right? This was an extreme example. I agree. But you don't realize how you sound in those situations. I can guarantee you that at least once a week, one of the candidates I interviewed at PwC delivered a speech like that, exactly like that. I'm so happy to be here, but I don't know what to build. Like my experience is great, and slow down, take it easy. But the worst part is they don't know that they sound like this, and maybe you also don't know that you sound like that. So, and this is especially true if you're not a native speaker of that language. I mean, you need to take more time than native speakers, so you come up with the correct words, right? Let's move on to the third technique. This one is using your hands. Strong hand gestures are primal. We use large hand gestures for hundreds of thousands of years to make us look bigger, right? Now, I want to go back to the same jungle example. Way before ancient civilizations, we shared the jungle with predators. So when you're in a survival situation and that your fight or flight kicks in and you realize you can't fight, what is the first thing you do? And most animals do that also. You do this, right? So maybe you're thinking, what does seeing a lion in jungle and raising your arms has anything to do with how to calm in the interview? Your brain doesn't know the difference. From its perspective, you're faced with a threat, right? So by mimicking a defense move with large hand gestures, I'm not telling you should do this. We'll get there. You're signaling your brain to fight, not flight. That's all you need to change your mood instantly. Interviewer asks, so tell me about yourself. What happens if you're nervous? You answer like this, right? So my name is Denis Sosal and I'm a management consultant with PwC, right? You go to your shell. But then look at this. Like, this gives me my power, like claws, My name is Denis Sosal. I'm a management consultant with PwC. See the big difference? This gave me the power. That's it, right? Immediately makes me feel better. Not only you will come across more confident, but you will feel more confident. It's so easy to trick your subconscious to submit to your conscious mind so you decide what you want, whether to fight or to flight. Not your nervous system. Communicating with confidence means having the ability to control your body language instead of it controlling us, right? Or it controlling you. You see, in stressful moments, anxiety finds a way to express itself. You experience what I call body language cool, right? Your hands go down, you go into your shell and you send all the wrong signals to the universe, right? To everyone around you, This is a coup d'etat by your body. It's taking over the power and acting on itself because you don't have a strong will to prevent it, right? It's taking over the power. It says, screw you. You don't know what the heck you're doing. So be mindful of your body language. Just pay attention. Very simple stuff. If you're bringing a notebook to the interview, which I strongly suggest you do it anyway, write it in big fonts. Note to self. Be mindful of my body language, right? Claw. Remember that. It's your instant power source. Let's recap. Before you go to your interviews, condition yourself by addressing all the root causes of nervousness so you will not get nervous in the first place. What were the root causes? Rushing thoughts, having too much to lose, endless loop. Let's say you couldn't entirely manage avoiding it and you're still nervous. Then breathe. Slow it down. Body language. Do these and trust me, you will feel very confident and you will deliver an amazing performance in your interview. Good luck.